Hello, a very good morning to you all on this very bright autumnal day, which is a nice change. I hope you're all well. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make what I've named the Samara loop necklace. So very pretty, very simple to do. I suppose it's stitch beading, but as long as you've got a needle and thread, you are good to go. Lots of pretty beads, all in the same colour, but lots of different colour choices to go for. We've got some on gold and some on silver for you. And I will take you over to the website now so you can see how those colourways would look depending on which kit that you chose. And we'll get making. So I'll say a quick good morning to you. Good morning to Anastasia. How are you doing? She says, peace and love, Natalie. How is your morning going? It's 1 minute past 6. 49 degrees and it's raining. It's going okay, to be honest. It's been a bit of a stop-start. I'm hoping there won't be too much disruption and noise in the background today. But yeah, it's been a nice morning. When the sun's kind of trying to come out, it feels brisk out, but it's nice and sunny. Thank you for asking. I hope you're well too. Good morning to Lisa. Hello to Fairnessborn Rachel. How are you doing? She says good morning from a bright borough. And just me's in as well, saying good morning to myself and to everybody else who's here and joining us. So I'm going to take you over to the website now. We are, of course, totallybeads.co.uk, and this is where you can find your lovely kits. So if you head over to the website, totallybeads.co.uk, you can find on our main page here lots of different ways to get into our jewellery making categories. So if you head into the video tutorials, whichever way you fancy, you will see lots of lovely makes for you to make along with us. These are just some of the ones I've done recently at the top. This one I've named Samara. So if you click into here, you will see this is how our necklaces look today. So we're using a little bit of chain. You've got a little lob clasp and some jump rings to attach that around the back of your neck. And we're just making these little loops. Now you can make these loops bigger, smaller. You can make more loops. You can do whatever you want, but I've worked out this design. It gives like a little bit of a frill type collar. Of course, if you wanted to change the length of the chain as well, that would make it sit higher up, or if you wanted to make it more of like a choker length, this is kind of a princess length, but you can do whatever you want with them. So each of your kits are only £2.99 today. We've got it in aqua, black, an emerald green, an olive, which is what I'm going to be demonstrating for you, a pastel purple. We've got a pink, magenta, a rosewood and a royal blue as well. So if you have a little look, you'll see that some of them are on different coloured chains, whether you want to do that in the silver or the gold. You can have a little look and see which takes your fancy. This is what you're getting in your kit today. It makes up one necklace for just £2.99. You're going to get lots of your glass pearl round beads, your chain, your jump rings, your lobster clasp and your thread. I'm using a £6 fire line today. You could use a nylon if you prefer. You could use many different threads, to be honest. I really like the fire line. It's a very strong, used to be fishing wire, I think. So £6 is like the weight it can take. I'm using it in the colour smoke, so it will show up on the mat, but you won't see any of the thread really anyway, so don't worry too much. You know, you're going to get that included anyway in your kit. So the size of the pearls that I'm using are 3mm, so small and dainty, and I'm using the gold plated chain in oval, which is a 3 by 2.5mm, little links in there. So pretty and delicate. And again, if you wanted to, you could add some additional things in if you've got some in your stash, but you really, really don't need to. Everything's here for just £2.99. So this one is the aqua, and that's a beautiful blue. I'll show you that down on the mat. It looks more vivid on my mat than it does here on the screen. And I've popped that with the gold chain. We also have it in black. So small little black bead, that's on the gold as well, gives it a nice gothic look. And again, same size if you want to see any of the dimensions, 3mm glass pearl beads. We've got a lovely emerald green, like this. That is on a silver chain. So the chain used there is still oval, 3 by 2.5. but it's going to be on the silver for you. So your clasp and your jump rings will be the same. Gorgeous olive, which I'm using today. I've popped that on the gold chain. It's got like a lovely warm kind of rich tone to it. It's very pretty. Again, I'll show you some of the samples down on the mat so you can see how the colours look. We have pastel purple, which has got a very silvery look to me. I'm in the warehouse and saying, does this look purple to you? Because I wasn't sure whether I'd got the wrong name and code, but they obviously, depending on the light, it does have a very, very pastel purple tone to it. But I would say it's more on the kind of whitish blue spectrum. You have a little look at that one there. That's on the silver as well for you. So if you're wanting something a little bright and vibrant, just creating those loops with those glass round beads. Just going to whiz through these. This one is your rosewood, which is a very pretty colour. You might want to mix them as well if you wanted to. You could change, you could have your beads at the top in one colour and your loops on the other, or you could alternate. This is a very lovely colour. That one's on the silver as well. And then lastly, we have this royal blue, which is on a gold chain. So all of your materials are included in your kits. You're going to get your glass pearl round beads, which are 3mm in size. You're getting your chain, you're getting your fire lined thread to use. The only thing not included is a needle. You can always add that into your basket. We sell them as well, or I'm sure you've probably got one in your stash. So they're the Samara loop necklaces today, because I'm making little loops with them. Lots of choice and lots of colour for you to pick from. Let me head back and I will show you them down on the mat, some of the colours that we've got. Why I say hello to you all. So you can see here, this one is the olive, we've got the gorgeous aqua, this is the silver purple, and this one is your rosewood. So let me say hello to anybody who's just come in to join us. I've got lots of you here with me today. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning to Star Yor. She says good morning everybody, and Natalie, good morning to Carol. Camille's in as well. She says it's a bit dull today. What did I do with her sun? I haven't touched your sunshine. I've just stolen it and it's very bright. I'm probably going to have shadows on my mat and all sorts, Camille. It's going to be that bright and lovely here. Good morning to Angela. How are you doing? She says it's very wet in Forfar and she loves my jumper. Thank you. I've gone Halloweenish. I've even got my little bat earrings in as well. Happy Samhain to come. Good morning to Sheila. How are you doing? She says she's got a lovely sunny day in Washington, Tyne and Weir. Pauline's in. Hello to you, my love. Good morning to Joanne as well. She's very dull and wet in Coventry. My sister's birthday today. I've shared a couple of photos to do with some of the stuff we get up to for Halloween. Oh, can't wait to see that. Yes, have a wonderful, wonderful time. I don't know whether you're trick or treating or are you planning on just closing the curtains, snuggling up in front of the television, or you making something Halloweeny. I've made a few Halloweeny things, I suppose, this year. I've not made any of my wire wrap pumpkins that I usually do. I've made some cat pendants, which was quite fun. We've got loads of lovely things on the website if you're looking for some themed inspiration. Good morning to Jan. How are you doing? She says it's overcast in Sudbury. Good morning to Yolanda. Thank you, Jan. She says these look very pretty. Angela says she's loving my earrings. Thank you very much. No, I won't, Camille. I'm keeping it. Keeping the sunshine. Thank you so much, Dayor. I hope she's loving your nails. Everyone's being very complimentary today. My nails, I've gone for autumnal. So I've got a little forest theme going on there somewhere and autumn leaves. But today, all the sparkle, all the pretties are down on my mat. So these are the colours that I'm going to be showing you here, because there's so many to choose from. You can't really see them all on the mat. So this is how they look. If I just take, let me show you this one, because I did think this one looked a little bit different on screen. So you've got lots of movement in those loops, because we're using a thread with them, but then they do hold their shape when they're up against your neckline, and they are very, very pretty. So all I'm doing is just threading on beads and bringing back through to create this lovely kind of little scalloped looking edge. So to do that, what I'm going to need is I'm going to need to thread my needle. I'm using quite a fine needle. I think this might be a 10 or a 12 beading needle, but we've got nice sized drill holes usually anyway in these glass beads, so I wouldn't worry too much. I'm going to thread on about 80 centimetres of my fire line, which is about 31-32 inches. I don't think you're going to need that much, but I always like to err on the side of caution. So I have put my needle through already, because sometimes that takes a little while to do on camera. You might find with the fire line it's coated, so it does sometimes, if I just do this, you can see sometimes leaves a little like, I don't know, it's not ink, but like little kind of, the colour will sometimes come off on your fingers. It won't come off on your beads, and you won't see any of the fire line I'm using anyway, but I am using smoke because I wanted it to show up on camera. It's really, really strong. As I say, it was originally used as fishing line, so unless you're catching more than a 6-pound fish on this one, it's going to hold all of your beads in place. I'm also going to use the gold chain for this make, and I've cut about 40 centimetres, which I think is about 16 inches, there or thereabout. Again, I'm gonna use it as one full length to begin with, and then when I finish my necklace, I'm just going to open it up in the centre to attach my little jump rings, which will be in your kit, and your 12mm lobster clasp as well. If you wanted to, you could of course pop on a different clasp of your choosing if you've got one in your stash. So to start, I'm going to take the end of my chain and I'm going to place my fire line through the last link on it here, and I'm just going to tie a little knot. What's great about using the fire line, it's great for knotting. It's going to hold everything in place really nice and secure. So I'm just going to do an overhand knot. If you want to, you can bring it back through the link again, so you can go through this afterwards with your needle, and you can firm it up if you want to. All I'm going to do is just, I am a bit fingers and thumbs today, don't quite know why. So I'm going to just, I need more coffee is probably what it is, not had enough. So I'm just tying a little overhand knot. You can do a surgeon's knot with this, you can double knot it. Should have probably left myself a longer tail. So I'll tie with the other side. And I'm just securing that on. But you can firm this up afterwards if you want to. So I've got a little tiny knot that's holding on to that last link of the chain. And then you can cut off that little tail end. I'll probably cut it off at the end. It's not needed, but you can do it now. Let's get this nice and secure. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by adding on 10 of my pearls. So I've got my gorgeous olive coloured pearls here. I should probably move myself over a little bit and move them up out of the way. So I'm just going to leave my chain on, and I'm just going to add on 10 of my 3mm pearls. So Camille, you might want to count with me just to check I've got it right. You're all welcome to count with me, but Camille likes to count along with me. She mocks me in a loving way. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 pearls. So I'm going to push them right up. If you want to, you can cut your tail end of that thread to get it out of the way. There you go. Okay, so I'm adding on 10 of my pearls. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back through the 4th pearl. So I'm going to miss out 3. And then I'm just going to come back through that 4th. And as I pull my little loop, I'm going to make sure all of my pearls are pushed up against the last link on the clasp, on the chain rather, and just pull it all up, keeping that last one before the loop close to the others. So I've got that first little loop. So this little loop that I've got here should be comprised of 7 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've added on 10, missed out 3, come back through the 4th. You can, if you want, go through all of the loop again before you come back out. I'm just going to go through that one pearl there, but if you wanted to, you could bring it and go through all of them. It's entirely up to you. Now, my next amount I'm going to put on is 14. And what I'm going to gradually do is make the loops ever so slightly larger until we get to the centre. So I'm going to add on 14 of my pearls now. And just popping that onto my needle. You can pick them up off your mat in an ordinary way, or you can transfer them from the strand. I like to just have them all out on my desk and pick them up one by one. So I should have 14 from here. I'm going to push that right up against that last loop, and I'm going to come back through the 4th one again. So I'm going to miss out 3. Just separate that so you can see, and I'm just going to go back through this 4th one. Again, just holding it close to the last one. I know my fingers are covering it, but we want them nice and kind of taut essentially. So just push them up. So all of these along the top row are sitting closely together. And that's making my second loop. Now my second loop should have 11 beads to form that loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I've got 11 beads now, and I have a little space in between. Now I'm going to add on 19 of my pearls. So if I go quiet, it's because I'm counting, but I've stopped counting. So we'll check. So I'm just going to make this loop that little bit larger. Again, you can change your design if you want to. I've just worked this out so they sit nicely together. I'm quite happy with the spacing. I'm going to start to create a little bit of a curve with this. And what I'm going to do that is I'm going to change up which pearl I go through now. So I should have 19 pearls on this section. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Perfect. Now, as before, I've been going through the 4th and leaving 3. This time, I'm only going to leave 2, and I'm going to come back through the 3rd. And it's going to start to create a little curve with this. So as I say, you can go through all of them if you want to. I tend to run back through if I need to at the end, and I tend to just run back through the top. So these have got a nice movement to them. But by just missing out 2 pearls and going through my 3rd one now, can you see how these are going to sit a little bit closer together? I'm now going to add on 25. So let's move these over. Morning, Anne. Anastasia's brought in her sister. She says, everyone please welcome my sister to the group. Hello, my lovely. Thank you for joining us. It's nice to, I have relatives in the group. Sometimes my mum comes and watches. Are you going to have a day, Anastasia, where you're all going to make stuff together? Because I know you were saying you were showing her how to use like culottes and certain findings. Is there any particular projects that you enjoy or have enjoyed from Totally Beads the most that you're itching to show her? The good thing about the video tutorials, you can watch them back at any point you want to. They're all on the website. And if you have got the kits, then they're there for you to watch at any point. Or if you're looking for a little bit of inspiration, maybe you're not sure what to make, you can also search on the website by the type of beads that you have to use or components that you've got. Or you might want to be looking to do a bracelet or a necklace or earring, so you can search by type. You might want to search by technique. So you might think, I'd love to show her a bit of chainmail, so I'll show her that, or today I'm in the mood for a stitch project. So there's lots of ways to get a little bit of inspiration there on the website. Okay, so I should have added on 25. Now, let me see. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8 is 20, 2, 4, 5. Okay, so now I've added on 25. I'm going to leave 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to come back through the 4th. So I'm going to just push those pearls up close to these ones here, and then move the one I've gone back through close to that. And as I pull my thread through, that should create a nice kind of oval loop. There you go. So it's starting to create my scalloped edge. So this one, which we made with the 19 pearls, that will have 17 in the loop itself. And this one where we've added on the 25 should have 22 pearls to make that loop. So now all we need to do is we need to work our way back essentially, but I'm going to work it backwards so that I have the same size loops, if that makes sense. So after I've put the 25 on, I'm now going to go for 20. I know we had 19 here, but if I add 20 more pearls on, that's going to give it like the same size. I have a knock at my door. I don't know whether it's the postman with my husband's birthday present, or it's the builders who have been told that I won't be seeing them until after 11 o'clock. Whoever it is going to have to wait. This is far more important. Sorry, husband, for birthday present. It's his birthday on Monday. So I'm going to add in 20 pearls now. I do love the colour of this olive. It's very, very pretty. It's got kind of like a gold sheen to it, so I thought it would look nice with the gold chain. But it'd look nice on a silver chain as well, I suppose. Okay, so I'm just going to count and check I've got 20 on this section. Yeah. And now I'm going to leave 3 again and come back through the 4th. So 1, 2, 3. I'm going to ignore. So just separate just to show you. And then it's just that 4th one I'm going to come back through. So back through the pearl, passing that needle back round, pushing my pearls up, nice and tight, get that nice tension. There you go, so that my loop is the same. And if you count these ones now, there should be 17 pearls to make that loop, including the one we've passed back through. Now I'm going to add on 13. There's a whole lot of noise going on outside. Hopefully they're not asking me to move my car, because my car isn't very well at the moment. She doesn't like the cold. Had issues with the battery. Now I've got an engine management light come up, so that's a joy of this time of year that I'm going to have to sort out. First world problems, I suppose, isn't it? Okay, so now I'm adding on 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. I'm now going to go and miss out just the 2 again to go back through the third one. And that's going to create that same little curvature. So this one here, which is going to have my 22 pearls to make that loop, that's going to be my largest one and my center. So just make sure you're happy with the tension each time you put the next one on. It's far easier to tighten it up as you go. So just pop your finger over the top of it and give it a little pull. So now I've added on my 13. That will have 11 beads as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Does that make sense? So including the one that we're going back through, that's going to have 11, and that's going to match this one here. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add on 10. So let me get some more off my strand. So I'm just going to add on 10 beads, all my gorgeous 3mm pearls. Slide them right down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave 3, 1, 2, 3, and come back through that fourth one here. So you can see I've got loads and loads of thread left. I didn't need that much, but it's there then if you want to go back through and tighten anything up. Okay, so it's starting to look like that. I'll put it forward so you can see the shape of it. And now what I'm going to do is add on 3 more pearls. And that is going to have completed my full loop section. So each side should be symmetrical. We've got 3 coming off. Our first little loop will have 7 beads that comprise that loop. And then we have 3 more pearls in between. And then we create a loop of 11. And then we have 2. So it's a little bit closer together. So the 2's just running along the top there. And then we've added on our central ones here, which have got 17 beads in each of those loops. Another 3 along the top, either side of the central one, and that will comprise of 22. So if you want to make it bigger, you absolutely can. If you want to make it smaller, you can as well, I suppose. But I think using the 3mm pearls, this just gives that lovely kind of dainty collar effect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other end of my chain. So my chain I've already attached to one side, I'm just going to come through that last link with my needle. And I'm going to go back through that first pearl. I'm just going to keep my finger over it just to make sure that we've got a nice tension. So we're pulling that right up close. I'm going to create a half hitch knot now between that first pearl. So how to do that is I'm going to make a little loop. So I've got still quite a long tail, but I'm going to make a little loop which will run past through between those two beads. And then I'm just going to pass the needle back through that loop. And then that will create a half hitch knot just between the pearls. Just going to make sure that it's in the right position. And if I give it a pull, it's just going to tighten them between the two. Now what you can do is you can run back up through the pearl, and you can run up through that last link in the chain again, just to tighten it. And then you can create more knots as you run your thread back through. What I like to do is run my thread all the way back through, just the top ones, and then I can go back through this bit and back through this bit just to tighten up at the clasp. What that will do is it will just help you tension a little bit around the neckline, just making sure that they're all nice and flush and sitting together. And you've got loads of thread there as well. We started off with about 80 centimeters, didn't we? So that was, what did we say? That was about 31, 32 inches. So I'm not going back through the loops, but you can do if you want. All I'm doing is just bringing the thread back through that top row. And then if you have got a little bit of a gap between, so in that one here, I could have pulled that a little bit tighter to have those beads closer together. If I run my thread back through this section at the top, it will just bring them a little bit closer together anyway. And it will also just firm up the curvature of my necklace. And I can run it through the chain just to make it extra sturdy. So you can see it's a really straightforward project. It doesn't take long to make at all. Just bring your thread through. And again, you can do some more half hitch knots if you want to. I think just bringing it back through the clasp will, the chain link, and back again will just tighten it up anyway. But I like using the fire line with this because, as I say, it's really, really strong, but yeah, you've got that movement then. It's still got like a softness to it. If I was to use tiger tail with something like this, it would be quite rigid against the beads. I'm going to go back through the loop, the link rather, on the chain. And then run it back through again. Just to firm it up, make it extra sturdy. So you won't see the thread anyway on those chain links. I've probably not pulled that quite as tight as I could around that one. But if you really want to, you can also do some more little knots as you go back. Oh no! There you go, got caught around. So just make sure that it's sitting pretty. So if you want to do a half hitch knot anywhere in it, I'm going to create a little loop. This is the reason why I've used this colour thread, so you can see. So I'm just laying a little loop across it. I'm going to catch the thread underneath that bead that's running through between it. And as I bring my thread back through that loop, trying to do it slowly so you can see how it works. It's just going to catch the thread in the middle. And as I pull it, it will knot between those two beads. And then you just work your way back down and go back through the other link on the chain if you want, and then just cut off. So it'll be nice and secure. I'll hold it up so you can see where I'm going. So I'm not going through the loops, but you can do if you wanted to, if you wanted to give that more shape. I quite like it having that little bit of fluidity. Is easier if I lay it down. I'm trying to hold it up to camera, but it's just easier to work off the table. And you can see that they've got that movement in it then. Let's bring that back through. And I'm just going through a few beads at a time, really. The longer your needle is, the more you'll be able to go through it in one go. Just watch where your thread's going, make sure it's not wrapping around your loops that you've made of beads. It's taken me longer to work my thread back through than it is to actually make my loops. I'm going to get it all the way to the end. I'd like to say I'm getting more confident with my needle and thread and like my stitch projects, but this is a nice beginner make. Okay. Now I've got that all caught round right at the very end. There you go. Again, you can take it through the link on the chain. And you can run this back through as many times as you want. You've got a nice strong thread, but also large enough drill holes in the beads. What I would say is if you are doing half hitch knots as you run along back, just make sure that you run your thread back through a little bit away from the knot before you cut it off. So another little half hitch knot there. It's so secure now. Nothing's, touch wood, going to affect the integrity of that. Pass it back through away from the knot, and then you can come in with your cutters and just cut off any excess. So I have my lovely looped necklace looking like so. All I need to do now is to open up my chain and attach my clasp, unless you've got a chain which is long enough to go right over the head. So what I would do is I would just line up my links and I would find the center. I would say that link is the center, so it's nice and even. And then just open that up. These aren't soldered links, so you can open it up easily. And then all I need to do is attach my lobster clasp via my jump ring. So I'm going to take my jump rings out of my kit. I'm going to give it a little twist towards me to open. I'm starting to get shadows now, didn't I? I was only joking before. That sunshine's really bright. I'm going to attach it through the last link on the chain and then add on my clasp, and then make sure my jump ring is fully closed. Probably should have used chain nose pliers rather than the needle nose, just to make sure I've got that extra grip and sturdiness. So just make sure my jump ring's fully closed there. And then with my next one, little twist towards me to open, sliding on through that last link. And then twist away to close. Make sure those points are fully lined up. Brilliant, if I do say so myself. And now my necklace is made. So it will look like this. As I say, you've got that lovely kind of movement and fluidity, but they will all sit really lovely. This one's the olive one that I've made, just to prove that it was. Here's the sample as well. So you can see they're looking exactly the same because I've used exactly the same kind of method of looping. So this one is the olive on the gold. I've got a gorgeous aqua, which is a beautiful vivid blue. That's on the gold as well. We have this one, which is the rosewood. And this one, this was the light purple. Or was it called light purple? It wasn't called light purple. It's called pastel purple. But to me, it's just a hint in that. We've also got in the Samara necklaces, we have a pink magenta for you to choose from. We've got a royal blue as well. We have, what other ones didn't mention? We've got an emerald green. So lots of different colours on the Totally Beads website. They're only £2.99. I think they're, gosh, that sunshine's absolutely blinding. I think they're really nice, sweet, quick makes. Just Me says beautiful, thank you. Fairness Born says lovely and elegant, thank you, Natalie. You're very welcome. Anastasia says, Natalie, thank you. This is beautiful and simple to make. It really is. Outlaw Productions AI says, is saying hello. Elena from Eastern US here. She's loving all the jewellery inspiration. Thank you so much. Very fast and pretty project. Thank you very much. Joanne says, simple elegance and gorgeous colours. Hello, Francis. My little one's watching. Hello, my darling. He's on Nanny Kath's phone watching. You can be quiet because Grandad's working. Naughty, aren't I? I've passed my little one off because I'm working. And is Grandad working from home today? I don't know whether he is. Sheila says, very pretty. Mina says, making beaded baubles at the moment. Ooh, festive makes. Gorgeous. There's loads of stuff on Totally Beads website if you want to look for inspiration. I was going to show you some of my Halloweeny makes, but you can search. If you're on my YouTube, which is Natalie Patton Jewellery, I have put little categories together. So I don't know whether there's one on the Totally Beads website, but on my YouTube there's a playlist of festive makes. So it's got Christmas stuff and Halloween stuff, Samhain stuff, all sorts in there. Valentine's as well. Thank you, Mina. She has beautiful necklace. Simple but lovely, says Alina. I love your name. That's a really pretty spelling. Angela's like, oh, the sun's come out. I hope I've not missed any questions for anything at all. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for being with me today. I couldn't tell you what I'm doing next week. I've been working on some really lovely necklaces, though, that I'm very excited about. I don't mean to brag, but I'm up to December samples. Been working hard and enjoying myself. So if you can come and join me on, it's Wednesday today, isn't it? So if you come and join me on Monday next week, I'll have some more lovely makes for you. It could be a bracelet, it could be a necklace, it could be earrings. Actually, I think it might be earrings. It's all on the schedule, but I don't. Who am I? Where am I? I hope you all have. Anastasia says, "Move your hair so we can see your share." It's got pumpkins and bats and ghosties on it and little flowers. It's cute and comfy, but I tell you what, it's very warm in here now. So I'm going to go, I'm going to have a cuppa, I'm going to tidy up, and then I'm going to check on the builders and see what the knocking on the door was. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the week and a fabulous weekend. If you're making anything, do let me know, especially if it is like kind of spooky themed or maybe something festive for the season ahead.